Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about stargazing under heavy light pollution of big cities. For example, I live in the middle of Dallas and Fort Worth. Bright lights everywhere. The sky isn't even black here. The sky is gray, like a whitish gray. So you might be wondering, how can you possibly do stargazing in a city like this? Well, and I've done stargazing in the middle of Dallas and Fort Worth without very expensive materials. Like you have a small short tube refractor with a simple DSLR camera that isn't even used for astrophotography, but we make it useful for that. So here I have a list of certain objects that I was able to take the picture of through about 10 or 15 seconds exposure in a motorized tripod that is also nothing really fancy. And of course, I didn't do, after I took the image, I played with the filters a little bit in my phone and was able to increase the contrast, increase the visibility of the object that I was taking a picture of. So I didn't stack images to make them more smooth. Here in the back, you see the Orion constellation. That was using a DSLR camera, zoom in, or actually zoom out to just show enough to just show the constellation Orion. You can actually see the Orion belt and the Orion Nebula under the belt. Um, Another thing is the Andromeda Galaxy. That's a very common one. I took that image with about 15 seconds exposure. Then I passed the image to my phone and I adjusted the filter crazily so you could actually see something. Next is Cigar Galaxy. Cigar Galaxy is pretty interesting because you see the side of it. All you see is like cross, like a line like this, like a line crossing the sky, and that's actually seeing the galaxy sideways. Then you have the Crab Nebula. Well, the Crab Nebula, I confess, this was extremely hard to take because it's very faint. It's right there in the constellation it's in the arms of Orion, and it's really hard. So there's an arrow there to show where it's supposed to be. Dumbbell Nebula. Well, that's in the middle of the Summit Triangle near Vulpecula, and I don't see anything when I put my eye on the eyepiece, to be honest. But when you put the DSLR camera in the location where the computer says that the nebula is, you get to see a grayish bluish cloud in space. So that was interesting. Messier 3, well, most people would rather choose Hercules globular cluster as their globular cluster to take an image of. But somehow Messier 3 enchants me in the fact that it's to the west of the constellation Bootes, where Arcturus is located. And what I like about Messier 3 is that it's very compact. Well, all globular clusters are compact, but it's compact in a way that at least I was able to take better image of Messier 3 than the Hercules globular cluster. And as you can see there, an example. We have Messier 8, which is north, slightly north of the constellation Sagittarius. That one I had to play with the filters a lot, so you can see that there is a cloud. There's a dust uh, coming from one of the stars in that cluster, which is Messier 8. Orion Nebula, that's a big one. Everybody knows Orion Nebula. You know, if you're new to astrophotography, at least the Orion Nebula you have to take an image of, because this image of the Orion Nebula is all over the place. It's the most evident nebula in the north that can be seen from the northern hemisphere. And of course, you have the Pleiades. Pleiades, also called the Seven Sisters, seven bright stars, but there's so many other stars in that cluster. When we look through binoculars, it's amazing. You see so many stars. which is worth a trip outside of the big city, outside of light pollution, to see this why these this cluster in the sky, which is really amazing. The Ring Nebula is my favorite. It's literally a ring in space, literally a ring in space. As you can see, it looks like ring. It looks greenish, but if when I zoom in, you can kind of see like a reddish cutting across. Sombrero Galaxy. Yeah, that one is amazing because it's so tiny. You can see the bulge and the small line going across because we're also seeing the galaxy sideways, just like we see Cigar Galaxy sideways, except the Sombrero Galaxy is, believe it or not, brighter. And the summer triangle that I was talking about is a triangle formed from the concept from in and it can be seen in the summer. The triangle is formed by the combination of Altair, Deneb, and Vega. And then in the middle of this triangle, or running across this triangle, you have the Milky Way with all the stars and all the dust. There's also a binary star called El Birrero, which is right in the middle of the summer triangle, which is amazing. You also have the Coat Hanger star cluster to the south of that. So these are the things that I was able to see in the middle of Dallas and Fort Worth in the worst light pollution that you can ever possibly get. And these are the things that you can still see, still, because we don't know if light pollution will be getting even worse than that. Thanks for watching.